at the University of Oklahoma for one of the biggest meets of the regular season. And man, we have a great one as the number 5 Florida Gators take on the number 1 Oklahoma Sooners. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Hi everybody, welcome inside. I'm Bart Conner along with fellow Olympian and All-American Bridget Sloan. Now Bridget, this is one of those meets we circle on the calendar. Oklahoma's coming off their first loss last week against LSU, and then Florida is coming off a big meet last week against Auburn. So what can we expect tonight?
Well, we can expect some great gymnastics. These are two teams that are very familiar in the postseason, so this is a huge testament to both teams. They've got to perform tonight because this is a big moment for both teams to come back.
You talk about the quality of gymnastics we're going to see tonight. 3 of the top 5 all-arounders in the country are here, including Oklahoma's Faith Torres and Jordan Bowers, and Florida's Leanne Wong. Let's go to the third member of our broadcast crew tonight, Taylor Davis.
Well, Bart, for this Oklahoma team, a regular season loss isn't a common occurrence. The last one happening back in 2023. So coming off that loss to LSU, head coach KJ Kindler told me they've used it as fuel. Really working on winning at practice. She told me we actually see a benefit in being battle tested before postseason. It's something that the Sooners didn't have last season. You'll remember their first and only loss came in the NCAA semifinals. I spoke with several athletes who told me this one was hard to swallow because we knew it wasn't what we're capable of. But if we're gonna have to bounce back, we'd rather do it now with championships still ahead of us.
All right, we're set to go. Let's remind the audience the meet format in dual meet competition. 6 gymnasts will compete on each event for each team, but you count just the best 5 out of 6 scores towards their team total. The home order is what we call Olympic order, meaning the home team starts on vault and will finish on the floor. The visiting team, Florida Gators, will start on the bars, and they will finish on the beam. So Oklahoma ready to go with Lily Peterson, the exciting young freshman from Minnesota, now to lead off the Sooners on vault.
And Bart, this is a big moment. A freshman, it's a 1.5 big step forward. One thing that KJ mentioned to us, Bart, is they are working on their landings. A great start for Oklahoma, but they're really wanting to focus on those stuck landings.
Take a look at the event rankings for each of these two teams. Oklahoma tied for second in the nation with their vault NQS. We'll explain NQS a little bit later. And Florida is currently 7th on bars. Now their leader is Anya Pilgrim, and we have a thrilling team with lots of talented athletes tonight from Florida, including this young lady who's already represented her home country of Barbados in the World Championships.
Anya doing a fabulous job in this leadoff spot. She is just steady on every event.
Oh my! Oh!
Looked like she just didn't get her hands on top of the bar.
That is Owen Field, the assistant coach, checking in on her. Wow, what a way to start this meet for the Florida Gators. Anya from Germantown, Maryland. 4-time All-American last year. Now the way the world rules work in NCAA competition, they give them time to assess her situation. If she is able to get up and continue, she has 45 seconds from when she gets up to continue her routine. However, if she's not able to continue, that will be her final score. Wow. Jenny Rowland, the head coach at Florida, looking on. She's in her 10th season. Jenny, a former assistant coach here at Oklahoma, and she worked at Auburn for 5 years and then taking the head job. These two teams, Oklahoma and Florida, 2 of the most dominant teams in gymnastics over the last 15 years. What do you think, Bridget?
I was really happy to see her take her time. Too often you see athletes jump up a little too quickly, but take another look. This is a Van Leeuwen. She very common, but you saw her hands get a little too far over the bar, and right there, she catches actually at her wrist, and unfortunately just couldn't re-grab it.
So, to the appreciation of the 8,000 Sooner fans here, she will continue her exercise. And let's see if she can complete this.
Just the dismount here. And sticks it. Really nice finish. You saw her take that big, deep breath.
It's a relief that she's okay. We'll talk all night long about the enormous talent on this team from Florida. Oklahoma has similar capabilities. Remember, Anya is listed to compete in the beam later in today's competition. We'll see if she'll be okay for that competition. Now, Lily Peterson led the Sooners off with a 9.85. Here is Faith Torres, second up.
And this is another Yurchenko 1.5 twist, 10-0 start value.
There you go.
Almost perfect. The tiniest hop at the end.
The crowd, they know what they want to see, but we're not seeing a lot of perfect 10s this year, but that mechanics were quite good, weren't they?
I mean, that is textbook. Her form throughout this vault is just gorgeous. Legs glued together, toes pointed. I mean, it was very, very well done.
Faith Torres, the junior out of Bristol, Wisconsin, a very explosive gymnast in all the 4 events, one of the best all-arounders in the country, currently having an outstanding season. Looks like there's a little bit of a scoring delay on bars. It's especially difficult to calibrate the scores when there's a miss, because judges often struggle with what's the start value and what deductions to make. 6 more college basketball games highlight our ESPN schedule Saturday, including these featured matchups. Number 5 Houston hosts number 8 Iowa State at 2 Eastern, followed by number 1 Auburn hosting Georgia. Then at 6 Eastern, it's Kentucky. They square off against Alabama in the Sonic blockbuster. Score came in for Faith Torres for the Sooners on vault. It's an impressive 9.95. 8.975 was the score for Anya Pilgrim. Already, Riley McCusker competing second now for Florida in the bars. They put themselves in a difficult situation.
They have, but right now the job is to get this team back on track. Riley doing a great job. New dismount, stalled her into the double tuck. Very well done. It's challenging when you come after a fall. Riley really just showing her veteran competitiveness right there, getting this team back on track. So the remaining 5 athletes' scores have to count towards Florida.
Jalen Rowland very happy with that recovery performance. I mentioned the 10th season and Florida head coach. Top 4 finish in 7 of the last 8 full seasons. So they have been one of the contenders for championship level all along, but they have yet to win the national championship under head coaching from Jenny Rowland. Here's Kira Wells, the sophomore from Kansas.
Another Yurchenko 1.5 twist.
Oh, wow. That's a stuck landing.
They wanted to work on the sticks, and they are showing the hard work that they put on in practice this week. Take another look here. Landed a little locked-legged, just a little bit, but held onto it, did not move. From my point of view, this is a good one right here.
Ooh.
I think that right leg might have lifted up just a tiny bit, but ultimately that's a huge vault for Kira in Oklahoma.
Second team All-American on vault last year. Her season high is a 9.95. Great form throughout. A little scary when they land locked leg like that.
Would love to see, I'm going to say absorb a lot, and they want to land and bend those knees just a little bit.
Skylar Drazer now up for Florida. 9.85 was the score for McCusker.
Maloney to the high bar, right back down to the low bar. Good cast handstand there, and just the dismount. Little low on that landing. You saw her chest was a little bit low, had to take that step forward.
You know, with two teams that are this evenly matched, I'm afraid it often just comes down to stuck landings. And this is the kind of meet where they're really going to add up, whether you're sticking or not.
Absolutely. And we are hoping to see more sticks. But again, like I said, Bart, it's going to come down to the last routine, the last skill for who wins tonight.
Back to the Sooners on vault. After Faith Torres had that 9.95, Kira Wells a 9.925, and this is a big vault for Jordan Bowers, one of the top all-arounders in the country.
Another 10-0 start value, 1.5 twist. Tiny step forward. Right now, Oklahoma looking to drop that 9.85 from Lily.
Sooners at home, very comfortable. They're 151-4 since KJ Kindler has taken over this program 19 years ago. So it's usually a safe bet to put your money on the Sooners when they're in the Lloyd Noble Center. They've been a solid, consistent team for these last 19 years, always challenging for a championship. And they're tough to beat anywhere, especially at home. They've only had 4 losses under her leadership. The last one being LSU back 11 years ago. The senior class competing here has never lost a home meet for the Sooners. I hate to jinx them, but I just wanted to mention that. Now for Florida on the bars, here is the story. Anya Pilgrim had an 8.975. Skylar Drazer, just their last performer, had a 9.75. So now they really need to hit the next 3 routines in a row to dig themselves out of the hole from that low score. Remember, 6 compete, you count just the best 5 of 6 scores.
And right now, Sky Blakely doing a great job. She had a mistake last week and unfortunately had a fall. So far, so good. She's got a beautiful dismount here. Double front with a half.
Oh my goodness, that was spectacular.
Dixit cold.
The freshman from Frisco, Texas. 2-time member of the U.S. World Championship team. Competed in the Olympic trials. Tore her Achilles just before, but this was perfection.
This really was. Handstands right where they need to be. And I love this dismount. Double front with a half. She kicks her legs out. You see those legs so close together. Again, she had a fall last week, but you would never know. She's a freshman back in this bar lineup. So happy to see her.
Here's Elle Miller now coming after Jordan Bowers notched the third 9.9 or better. It was a 9.9 for her on vault. Here's Miller. Oh.
Nicely done. One thing that Oklahoma is showcasing is the control. When they take a step, it's a very controlled step. Elle with another 10-0 star value with that Yurchenko 1.5.
Maybe you can help the audience understand the start values, especially on vault.
You're going to see a lot of Yurchenkos, but if you're doing a Yurchenko full, the start value actually is only out of a 9.95. So if you stick a Yurchenko full, cold, beautifully done, your max score is a 9.95, where with 1.5, it bumps up to a 10.
Speaking of 10s, here is Leanne Wong. Some thought she should have got a 10 last week on bars. She is one of the best all-arounders in the country, and in fact in the world.
I'm with them on that 10 last week.
Sky Blakely before her notched a 9.9, their high score so far.
Leanne, just the dismount here. Double layout.
Oh.
Could we see a 10 again? It looked good to me.
2-time Olympic alternate. She was on 2 world championship teams where she earned medals for the U.S. team. And her NCAA career has been equally outstanding.
She really is just such an amazing athlete, but NCAA does her well. Big smile at the end of that routine. Very nicely done.
That's 4 hits in a row for Florida. They're going to need the last routine to be a hit if they're going to keep this close. Elle Miller had a 9.85, and here is Audrey Davis in the anchor spot for the Sooners.
Yurchenko 1.5.
Oh.
Little stutter at the end of that. great height. She almost had a little too much juice in the tank, a little too much power there. I said that they were working on sticks, but if you're gonna have to take a step, it's better to over-rotate than under-rotate.
Take a look at the scores on the right of your screen in our scoring bug. You see the grayed out number. That is the low score so far in that rotation, likely the score that they will drop. Oklahoma's lowest score is a 9.85, where Florida is dropping that 8.975. Depending on what we get from Selena Harris Miranda, their final competitor. This is a critical routine for Florida. They need a hit right now.
And one thing Selena does well, she loves to be in this anchor spot. Nice failed a handstand, legs glued together. Right here, she's gonna do an immediate double layout.
Oh, clutch routine for Florida.
That was huge. High fives all around. It's so amazing to me to see teams bounce back. They had a mistake early on, but it didn't phase the rest of them, and they got some great scores.
So a clutch hit for the Florida Gators after Leanne Wong had their second straight 9-9. Expect a good score for Selena Harris Miranda. Audrey Davis from the Sooners had only a 9.8. That's the score they will drop. So that 9.85 for Lily Peterson will now factor in their final score. So Oklahoma with a 49.475. Florida currently has a 48.375, but we have not factored in the final score for Selena Harris Miranda. That's the end of the first of 4 rotations. These are 2 of the most dominant teams in NCAA gymnastics over the last 15 years. Of course, Bridget Sloan, it's an honor to be here with you. You were an All-American on the team at Florida, and one of your distinctions among many is you were the first world medalist to actually go and compete in college, and you set a new standard.
I appreciate that, Bart. Back in my era, you know, we didn't have the choice of being a professional athlete or going to college, and that's what I went with college.
Well, I think you made an outstanding choice. The score came in for Selena Harris Miranda. It's a 9.875. So these 2 teams are separated by just 0.2 of a point. It's the first week of the NCAA rankings by national qualifying score. We'll break down what that means for each of these teams when we come back.
Brent?
Aye.
If you had to choose, would you watch paint dry or compare benefits plans?
Compare benefits every time.
Come on, you know how complicated benefits can be.
Well, I run payroll with Gusto. They make it easier to find benefits like medical, dental, and vision for my whole team.
Man, I think I'm gonna need new glasses.
Don't worry, I've got you covered.
Yes.
Choose benefits without the mess. That's working with Gusto.
Precise designs, subtle curves, curated upgrades, elevated design for thoughtful living. Thuma.
And what an all-out battle it's going to be this year in the SEC.
Because I'm the biggest, the largest, the biggest, the largest. Hey.
Get out there and ball.
SEC Men's Basketball on SEC Network.
Welcome back inside the Lloyd Noble Center here in Norman, Oklahoma. These 2 top teams separated by just 0.2 of a point after the first of 4 rotations. I'm Bart Conner along with my fellow Olympian and All-American Bridget Sloan. Now, Bridget, this is the first week the teams are ranked by what's called the NQS, the National Qualifying Score. How important is that for these teams?
It's huge. That is going to place them for postseason. So the higher your NQS score, the better you are going into postseason.
Let's break down how that is actually calculated. All the teams have basically 6 competitions. They count their best 6 scores. They identify the highest scores that at least 3 of them have to be away scores to sort of eliminate the home scoring advantage, and then they dropped the highest score and averaged the 5 remaining scores. So let's see how it applies to these two teams here tonight, Bridget.
Well, when you take a look at the Oklahoma Sooners, they are textbook of consistency. You see their 6 scores right here. The ones that are highlighted, so those are their away scores, those have to count. And that, makes them so impressive, their away score is their highest score of the 197.95. So you take the remaining 5, you average them. So their NQS right now is a 197.73, which is huge.
That puts them first place in the country currently.
And then going to the University of Florida, they have the highest team all-around score right now in the country, but unfortunately, you see their away scores have to count. That top score is gonna go away. So you take that remaining 5, you average them, and that's where you get the 197.19. So they have the highest, but their NQS is lower.
Man, I wish you were my math teacher. That's a really good explanation.
All right, let's take a look at our wheel of cams. What do we got today?
Thanks for joining us here at the Lloyd Noble Center. We have a top 5 matchup as the 5th-ranked Florida Gators visit the #1 Oklahoma Sooners. These two teams, after the first of 4 rotations, just separated by 0.2 of a point, and these two are the most dominant teams in the last 15 years in NCAA championship level gymnastics. We're going to see some outstanding gymnastics tonight. Not only these 2 outstanding teams, but 3 of the top 5 all-arounders in the country are here to compete. Bart Conner, along with Bridget Sloan, explain who we got here tonight.
I mean, with Oklahoma, you've got Faith Torres and Jordan Bowers, 2 athletes who are known in that all-around. And then with the University of Florida, the one and only Leanne Wong. We've heard her name a lot, and she deserves every spot in that top 5.
All right, so here is the status of the meet so far. These two teams are separated by just 0.2 of a point, but we had a fairly dramatic opening of the competition with Anya Pilgrim. She fell off the bars, and we weren't sure if she was going to be okay.
It was really nice to see her get up and finish the routine, not the way that University of Florida wanted to start that first rotation, but man, did they bounce back.
Let's go down to Taylor Davis. Oh! Taylor Davis for an update.
It was an unsettling scene down here with that Anya Pilgrim fall. Like you both mentioned, she was on the mat for a good amount of time. She got back up, completed her dismount, but then went back behind the team corral, sat down with the team trainer. I was watching her. She was doubled over. Her eyes were closed for a good bit of time. She continued to talk with the trainer. I spoke with head coach Jenny Rowland, who told me the training staff will continue to evaluate Anya. She is in the locker room as we speak. She was slated to go on vault in this next rotation, guys, but is doubtful to return.
So here is the story after the first rotation. OU solid on vault with 3 scores, 9-9 or better. Florida, after that fall, hit 5 straight routines on the bars to stay within 0.2 of the Sooners. This is going to be close start to finish tonight. Here is Ellie Lazari. She is a senior from the University of Florida, known for her superb work on the beam, but she's also in the vault lineup tonight.
Ellie's going to start this Gator vault lineup off with a Yurchenko 1.5. It's a 10-0 start value. This is big.
Beautiful.
Couple hops at the end of that, but right now, Florida, they need to try to stick, but they need to do clean vaults here.
And we're talking, this is basically week 8 of the season. These teams have been competing a lot. I know you've been through this experience, competing week in and week out. How tough is it to keep that edge here at the midpoint in the season?
I mean, not only is it physically tough, but it's mentally really tough. This is when athletes really dial in on what helps keep their mentality strong. You're going to see different things that they do throughout the meet to just keep it casual, keep it fun, and just try to keep it light.
Danny Severs will lead them off on the bars. She's been out of the lineup much this year because of an injury and then some illness. Great to see her in the lineup tonight, leading off OU.
Danny has a dynamic bar routine. Nice half pirouette there, right on top of the bar. See if she can get the stick. Oh, the tiniest step. I almost called it. She sticks, I would say 99% of the dismount she does on bars.
She competed in that meet last week with OU against LSU, had a 9-9. There's KJ Kindler, the head coach of the Oklahoma Sooners. Her staff has been together for 19 seasons. It's the longest staff term of the coaches in the United States right now, and it's her husband Lou Ball and Tom Haley, all of them together, and they have won 6 national championships over the last 10 years. Back to vault now for Florida. Louis Boyd.
Oh, little under rotation there. Watching her in warm-up, she didn't quite get the pop off the vault that we're used to seeing from her. She just had a birthday. Bart, she is 17 years old this week.
Wait, how is that possible? She was in college at 16?
Yes.
Did you get through school that fast?
No, Bart.
What's the truth? Were you held back in kindergarten?
Preschool was hard, okay?
All right. Danny Severs led the Sooners off with a 9-8. Here is Lily Peterson now. Several gymnasts in the all-around tonight. 4 for Oklahoma and 2 for Florida.
Nice back salto down the low bar. Lily, one of the freshmen on this Oklahoma team that has consistently been in the lineups, in the all-around. And she does a great job. Just a step on the landing.
Oh my goodness, you know, KJ Kindler was frustrated last week because the Sooners stuck only 4 of 15 landings. And tonight they had 2 really nice dismounts, but minor steps. What do you do about that, Coach?
Well, things happen. The one thing that they are doing well is they are controlled steps. That, you know, they're not showing their arm swing. They are being very controlled, but you know they want to stick those landings.
Danny Ferris now, the sophomore from Palm Coast, Florida, after a 9.725 from Lee Boyd.
Very well done. Hop on the landing again. It's gonna come down to who sticks the most vaults, in my opinion.
I'm impressed by Florida's big vaults. They are not only going high, but they're traveling a long distance from that vault table.
Well, vault coach Adrienne Burde spends a lot of time on getting the power off the vault. It's so important to have the speed on the run, the power off the vault, but also the control on the landing. It's really, there's a lot that goes into doing a perfect vault.
You mentioned Adrienne Burde. He's been 18 years with their program, former Romanian national team member. Back to Oklahoma on the bars. Addison Feda, after Lily Peterson, had a 9.825.
Beautiful church. A little short on that cast handstand after. A little wonky on that catch from the pack. You saw she had a really big swing, gets it back though. And a tiny hop on the landing. This is our first time seeing Addison tonight in the lineup. She's a regular vaulter for Oklahoma. And on this is her church. Little close, you saw those arms bend on her catch. Short on that cast handstand, but right here, her pack salto, she didn't quite rotate as much as you want to see, making that swing a little bit big. Her experience, though, she's able to get it right back.
Remember, Oklahoma had a lead of 0.2 of a point coming into this rotation. Florida needs big vaults here. They need to break into the 9.9s, and you see if Leanne Wong is normal, she can average over 9.9.
Very well done, but again, not seeing the stuck landings. Leanne strives for perfection every time she competes.
Going back to bars for the Sooners, here's Taylor.
You both made mention of the sticks of this Oklahoma bar lineup, and it really made the difference last week at LSU. In the first 3 rotations, they only stuck 4 of 15 landings, and they've been drilling them in the gym this week. Jordan Bowers telling me how much of an emphasis it's been. I can see it on the faces down here. A little disappointed with these landings, but everyone encouraging each other, don't press.
Addison Feda had their high score so far, 9.875. Huge release.
Faith Torres, I love watching her on every event, but she soars on uneven bars. And Bart, she's got one of the best double layouts.
There's a stuck landing.
If you need someone to stick a dismount, you look to Faith Torres. An outstanding job.
What does a stuck dismount do for the morale of a team?
Oh, sticks are contagious. You say falls are contagious. They are. Mistakes are contagious, but man, sticks are contagious. In this double layout, I mean, this is one of the best. I think that's the best one she's done all night, including warm-ups. Now's the time to do it.
Leanne Long got that first 9-9 that Florida was looking for on vault. Here is Gabby Disador, sophomore.
See if she can control this landing. Really huge vault off the table. You hear the vault when she hits, gets that block, takes the step. Would love to see her really work on controlling that landing a little bit more to hone in on sticking.
This is just her second week in the lineup on the vault for the Florida Gators. A very deep team. They have so many options on every event. This is more depth than the Florida Gators are used to. All right, here we go. This could be a highlight. Coming off of Faith Torres' 9-9. Here is a bar routine that is pure magic. Audrey Davis, you see she leads the NCAA, and I think you'll see why.
Starts things off. Single bar release here. Sky high. Gorgeous cast hands in there. Bart, this is one of the best routines I've seen her do.
Can she stick it?
Yes, she can. Outstanding job. Wow, that was, I don't want to say it was perfect, because every time I do, the judges see something, but that was incredible.
14 times, she scored 9.975. That ran into her last week at the men's meet, and she said, can you just tell the judges please to finally give me a 10?
Audrey, it is a 10 in my eyes. In this dismount, she works so hard on getting that half twist, making sure those hips are truly turned. I mean, she's really put in the work this entire season.
2024 NCAA co-champion. Remember, the scores are composed of 2 judges and their average. We'll be back for her score in a second. Selena Harris Miranda now. Oh, nice.
Very well done. Selena has one of the best vaults in this Florida team. She loves to anchor vault, makes it look just so easy.
She's coming after Gabby Disador had a 9.875.
Great control, finds that landing. Excellent job.
Selena Harris Miranda, formerly at UCLA, last year's Big 12, Pac-12 Athlete of the Year. You hear the boos. They're not for her. It's because Audrey Davis' score came in as a 9.9. I'm sorry, I don't get that, Sloan. How do you explain that?
I'm not a judge, Bart. That one is a little confusing to me.
Yeah, no less than 9.95, maybe 10. All right, Jordan Bowers now after 2 9.9 straight for Torres and Davis.
Jordan with the piked Jaeger.
She herself has 3 career 10s on this event.
Just the dismount. She stuck it in warm-ups.
Okay. Oklahoma, you mentioned sticks are contagious. They just drilled the last 3 or 4 of those dismounts, didn't they?
They did, and I know that they want to stick them so bad, but the one thing that the last 3 athletes in this Oklahoma bar lineup do is they hold their landings. They are so seasoned at competing. I mean, they're veterans on this team, and it shows.
Should be a big score. Remember, the Sooners had a lead of 0.2 of a point coming into this rotation. By the way, over there on vault, 9.925 was the score for Florida's Selena Harris Miranda. That is their big score. So they will drop that 9.725 from Lee Boyd. And the scoring for Jordan Bowers gets a round of boos here at the Lloyd Noble Center, a 9.925. I don't know what it takes to get a 10 anymore. Do you, Sloan? So the Sooners will extend their lead at the halfway point in this competition. Let's go down to Taylor Davis on the floor.
Thank you, Bart. Coach, a difficult start to this one with an injury to Anya Pilgrim. Any update on her status?
As of right now, they're still evaluating her. My guess is she'll be out for the rest of the meet. So, you know what? That's when everybody has each other's back, and it's time to step up for a couple other players.
And that's exactly what they had to do in the first 2 rotations without her in the lineup. What resiliency has been showcased?
Super proud of our team. They finished strong. We had a new competitor in our lineup, Skylar. She went up there, did what she know how to do and just owned it. Came over to vault. Really aggressive vaults, nice controlled landings. Super proud of them and ready for 2 strong events to finish.
On to the next. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Bart.
Thank you, Taylor. When we come back, we'll show you what it looks like from a gymnast perspective when you do gymnastics. Ever wonder what it felt like to do a double back somersault? You're not going to want to miss this.
Tomorrow is vault. Tuesday is floor. Wednesday's recovery. And what are we trying to master? Our schedule. Correct. So keep yourselves on the schedule that you need to be on. Try to get yourself on that schedule through the whole week.
So tonight, SEC Inside grants you an all-access pass to the Oklahoma gymnastics team. You'll get never-before-seen footage and sound from gymnasts and coaches. A real behind-the-scenes look. It all starts at 10 Eastern over on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. So the Sooners have extended their lead now to .25, 1/4 of 1 point at the halfway point in this competition here at the Lloyd Noble Center. Bart Connor back here with Bridget Sloan. Now, people often ask us, what's it like to do gymnastics? When you flip around and do double flips. So I'm really excited about this next piece because I think it'll be really informative for the audience to see what we see.
I mean, I think the 2 most asked questions are, what do you look at and how do you do it? And we're going to find out right now.
And how do you not get dizzy?
That too.
Thanks to some of the gymnasts at Bart Connor Gymnastics. This is what it looks like from a perspective of a vaulter.
Man, I love that you see, and this is the best view right here. She looks at her hands, but one thing she does, she spots the floor. And that's what we always talk about. And
I saw was feet.
In moving to uneven bars, this is a giant, which we see a lot of these in the NCAA. And one thing I love here is the pause on top, the control. Watching this is making me a little dizzy, Bart.
Here's a back handspring layout on beam.
This is one that I love too. I think it's because it's probably the scariest for people to watch, the balance beam. But you see, she spots that foot. She's looking at the end of the beam at the very end.
How about a combination tumbling pass?
These are love too. Front tuck, step out to back, full twist. Right here. So there's the first flip, round off, back handspring, and then full twist here. I found myself moving here to try to work with her. Very cool.
I hope you all enjoy that, and if you're a little bit sick to the stomach, yeah, it happened to us as well. All right, the Sooners have a lead, .25. These are 2 of the finest teams in the NCAA going head-to-head here tonight, mid-season. Don't go away. The SEC on ESPN. Bart Connor and Bridget Sloan here in Norman, Oklahoma. Two top 5 teams are separated by just a quarter of a point. Sooners had 6 scores of 9-9, no scores of 9-8 or lower. Meanwhile, Florida has 4 9-9s. 3 scores were below 9-8. And that has Oklahoma leading by a quarter of a point as we go to the second half of this competition. Oklahoma will be on what is typically a signature event for them, the beam, although they didn't have a great beam rotation last week in their one loss this year to LSU.
Yeah, Bart, KJ actually mentioned they didn't have a fall, but they just didn't have the routines that they are used to. They went back in the gym, they worked on the detail, and I have a feeling we're going to see a different beam lineup tonight than what we saw last week.
Audrey Davis, graduate student, originally out of Oakland, Florida. She is in her final season here at the Oklahoma Sooners. She is money whenever she steps up. Getting her master's in sports administration. You see where the Sooners are ranked. Currently, they're second in the nation with their average NQS scores on beam. Florida is 11th in the country. And floor will there be in this rotation.
Beautiful full turn to get Audrey's routine off to her start. Gearing up. This is her acro series here. Handspring layout, step out.
Yeah.
Beautifully done.
Last year's NCAA co-champion.
The one thing I love about Audrey's beam is she uses the whole beam. You see every dance element, every dance skill takes up the room. Sometimes you see athletes kind of stay in one place for a long moment. Got a season high of a 9.925.
Kinley loves her in this opening spot because she is solid.
Double twist.
Oh, wow.
And a stuck landing. That is huge.
Oh, my goodness.
Oklahoma, we set it on bars, Bart. Sticks are contagious. That is what KJ wants to see from her leadoff. Take a look, this acro series, it is a requirement and just money every time Audrey gets up on this balance beam and then a stuck landing.
I want to hear a fantastic stat about her. I didn't want to say it before her beam routine, but she has now hit 237 out of 238 routines in her impressive career for the Sooners. That one miss came early in her freshman year, but since then she has just been nothing but lights out for Oklahoma. Here is Victoria Wynn now opening up on floor. Where Florida will trail the Sooners by a quarter of a point.
Victoria is a beautiful dancer. This routine, it's very powerful, almost a little intense, but Victoria does it so well. Starts things off. Double twist into her Sasson. Needs to do that jump at the end. Did it perfectly there.
You mentioned she needs to do it. Is that for the combination bonus?
For the combination bonus, and I think it always just starts her off to nail this routine when she gets that connection.
Judges are looking for skills all ranked between A and E, A being the easiest, E being the most difficult, plus some combination elements.
One and a half to front layout. Very nice start for Florida. This is a moment for Florida to bounce back. They are great on floor exercise, and they've got a little room to make up.
Go to Taylor.
You both were mentioning the unexpected and unusual loss that Oklahoma had last week at LSU. Regular season losses have haven't been common for this program, the last one coming in 2023. But head coach KJ Kindler said, we decided to use it as a teaching opportunity because it's something we didn't get to do last year. You'll remember their one and only loss came in the NCAA semifinals. Beyond that, guys, they never scored lower than a 197.775. So I spoke with a lot of athletes who told me, obviously, we hate losing, but if there are things we need to improve on and be tighter with, we'd rather do it now when we have the chance to improve, and championships are still in front of us.
Taylor, we rarely have time to react to scores after we see them, but I can't understand that 9.85 for Audrey Davis in that leadoff spot. That was just as close to perfection as you can do. What do you know?
Bart, I'm speechless. That was a little different than what I was expecting. But Addison right now, she's got ice in her veins for this beam routine. You know, she walked in with the mentality of, I'm just not that good at beam. But she is incredibly consistent and aggressive, and she's really gaining that confidence throughout this freshman season.
She's also quite adaptable. They adjusted her dismount to give her less likely a chance to make a deduction. Here it comes.
Very nicely done. Again, gaining that confidence every single week. These are the moments in your freshman season that just, they mean more. They matter in the postseason. Addison showcasing a great beam routine.
Back to Florida on the floor as Addison gets congratulations from Sooner star Reagan Smith, who now is in assistant coaching position for Oklahoma. There's Danny Ferris. Victoria Wynn led off Florida with a 9.875.
Start this routine. She's got a huge tuck full in, capable of actually doing a double layout too. Very well done. Nice jumps there. Judges are looking for those deductions, and in their leaps, you want to showcase that 180-degree split.
Danny's mother is from Morocco. Exercise music is a nod to that heritage. Sophomore from Palm Coast, Florida.
Nice combination, 1.5 to lay out. Finishes with that gator chop, really well done, especially coming after Victoria's 9.875. Take a look at this first pass. It's a tuck full in. I love that she opens up at the perfect time to make sure that landing is controlled. And finishes with this combo, 1.5 to lay out. Her team's excited, as they should be. That was a beautiful performance.
Score for Addison Feda for the Sooners was a 9.875. Lily Peterson now. We're keeping track of these outstanding all-arounders. Faith Torres currently in the lead. Of course, these meets are all about team competition, but we're just pointing out the all-arounders because these are among the best in the country competing here tonight.
Lily had some problems with this in warm-ups. Saves it very well, but just dipped that left shoulder a little too much on the landing, turning those hips. Little balance break for Lily.
What happens to your mindset when you have a little balance check mid-routine?
You can't think about it. You gotta keep moving because the routine's not gonna stop. So you see, sometimes when they have a little balance break early on, it makes the routine almost a little sharper. Really focusing on those landings.
Is that when you do Mad Bean?
I love Mad Bean, Bart.
Okay, there you go.
Just there, stuck, round off double twist.
And a mad dismount, right?
Not how she wanted to do that beam routine again. On balance beam, Oklahoma strives for perfection.
Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern on ESPN, the College Game Day crew will be in Raleigh, North Carolina to get you set for an afternoon of women's basketball. Our ESPN triple header has #1 Notre Dame taking on NC State at noon, then North Carolina and Louisville at 2, and then it's LSU and Kentucky at 4. What an afternoon of women's hoops. Taylor Clark now after the second straight 9-8-7-5 for Florida.
Bart, this is a big floor routine, lots of power. She's going to open up with a double layout.
Whoa.
Slight stumble on that finish. You saw that right foot, her front foot came up. That is a deduction. Taylor's an athlete that when we talked to Jenny just about the talent she brings to this team, she said, I'm so excited for her to get comfortable in the lineup. A freshman with just so much talent.
Florida does have a good mix of upperclassmen and underclassmen on this program. Bodes well for the future.
Great finish there. Really nicely done. Just needs to learn to control that power on that first pass. This is a double layout. Just piked down a little bit early, but that front foot did come up. But this final pass, front through to double tuck, this is perfect. Gets right to that lunge. No deduction in my eyes on that last pass.
Here's Jordan Bowers now for the Sooners. Lily Peterson had a 9.875. Hard to believe that's only 25/1000ths of a point above Audrey Davis, who was near perfect. These scores have been all over the place this year, and especially tonight. Don't understand it. Bowers, by the way, has scored perfect 10s on 3 of the 4 apparatus. The one that she has not yet scored a 10 on is this one, the beam.
When I talked to Jordan earlier, she said, I really want a 10 on beam, but I reminded her that when you want the 10 so badly, it doesn't happen. Just do your normal routine and it will come. She gave me the look of, are you serious? Tiny balance break. You saw that arm swing.
You think when the scores are tight that it puts additional pressure on the mindset of these athletes?
For sure. You don't want to focus on the scores, of course, but sometimes it just happens. You see it pop up and you see just how close things are, and you do put a little more added pressure. Nice finish for Jordan. Just that slight balance break. You saw that arm swing on that series.
Last year's Big 12 Gymnast of the Year. She has won just about everything in NCAA gymnastics.
Finishes this routine very well. Round off double twist. The sticks are contagious so far. It's just the little balance breaks that we're seeing in the routine.
Sooners yet to break into 9-9 plus on beam as we go back to floor. Taylor Clark had a 9.775. Here is Sloane Blakely. Speaking of spectacular floor routines, let's enjoy.
Sloane, she had a 10 on this event last week. Has big tumbling here.
Oh no. Oh no. It's just brutal.
Her sister Sky. So hard watching a teammate. Even harder watching your sister. Jenny said they are so close. The tuck full in. Coach is running over.
The meet started today for Florida with Anya Pilgrim falling on bars. Took a scary fall and took her plenty of time to get up, but she did complete her bar routine. Just awful to see Sloane Blakely deal with what is obviously a lower leg injury. As Oklahoma has to continue now, Kara Wells on the beam. Before her, Jordan Bowers had a 9.85. Sooners yet to get 9.9 or better on beam in this rotation.
Here starting things off, side aerial, very nicely done right over the top of the beam. Leap combination there, good connection on that switch leap, switch leap. Very nice acro series, one of the requirements. Handspring layup, step out, very well done, right over the top. And the dismount, can she stick it? Oh, tiny hop at the end, but a really clean beam routine for Kira Wells.
Sooners have hit 5 beam routines in a row. Their current low score on that event is a 9.85. They have 1 competitor yet to go. Florida will have 2 competitors yet to go. The score comes in, as you can see, the grayed out score for Sloane Blakely. To add insult to injury, 6.35. That's obviously the score that they will drop, meaning they'll count the 9.775 of Taylor Clark. It's just heartbreaking when one of the teammates goes down. Leanne Wong will try to get the team regrouped in this 5th spot.
Leanne's Florida team this year really showcases the artistry and the beautiful dance. First pass here. Double layout. Very nicely done. Right now, Leanne doesn't need to be perfect. Just do her job, just like she does every weekend.
Teammates call her the CEO because she's had enormous success with the small business ventures that she started, including the Leanne Long Boutique, selling hair bows for charity, and recently opened the Leanne Long Foundation, finding and serving food to those less fortunate. She is just almost too good to be true.
She really does it all, and she's an amazing competitor. Opens up huge double layout. You see that front foot, she kind of dances out of it very well. Again, kind of covering up any sort of mistake that she might have been having right there.
It's tough on these athletes now when your teammate goes down, not only to continue through the competition, but to stay focused. Leanne Long does that. Kira Wells had another 9.875 for the Sooners. Faith Torres is one of the NCAA co-champions on this event from last year, along with Audrey Davis. She's their anchor competitor.
Bart, Faith has one of the most difficult combinations in NCAA on balance beam. Side aerial, layout, step out. Aggressive, but she does it so well. KJ actually told me that for one meet, she changed directions because she was just off a little bit, and they said, why don't we change directions? And sure enough, it was right over the top.
You get used to performing your skills in one direction.
Gymnasts tend to be a little superstitious. And they like things done one way. Faith showing that she's a great anchor on any event, but balance beam especially. And this is her acro series, side aerial layout step out. Little arm swing there, but finishes this dismount. Gainer full off the side, sticks it cold.
AJ Kindler happy with that effort on beam. Marked improvement from a couple of the bobbles last week in their meet against LSU. So now here is Selena Harris Miranda after Leanne Long gets an outstanding and well-deserved 9.925. Very important team for Florida right now. They trail Oklahoma.
Front tuck step out into her double tuck. Nice job getting to that lunge so quickly. One thing Selena does so well is she doesn't just do floor, she performs floor. So engaging. Nice combination pass, ending with that double stack jump. Very well done for Selena and this gator floor rotation.
Last year's Pac-12 Gymnast of the Year when she competed for UCLA said she always wanted to compete in the SEC. She transferred to Florida this year and making an impressive contribution.
Take another look at this last pass. Round off 1.5 to a front half into her double stack jump. Just a really pretty combination pass to end this floor team with.
Waiting for the score for the final athlete for Florida, Harris Miranda, as Jenny Rowland gives her team a couple of notes. as they get set to do the fourth and final rotation. Score came in for Oklahoma's Faith Torres. It's a 9.925, so the first score 9-9 or better for Oklahoma on the beam, but completes a very solid rotation.
They really came back strong on an event that really gave them a lot of trouble last weekend. They did amazing, they got it done, and they did their job.
Score comes in for Selena Harris Miranda. It's a 9-9. So these two teams are separated now by 0.3 of a point, and a big recovery for the Florida Gators after that unfortunate incident with Sloan Blakely injuring her lower leg. Let's go down to Taylor.
Thank you, Bart. Well, Coach, it's always difficult to see any athlete have an injury. We've had 2 here tonight. How has your team been able to stay mentally focused and continue executing?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a little bit difficult, especially there on beam, you know, not prepared to see that, and then having to get up and do a beam routine is a tough thing to do. I mean, kudos to her for keeping her wits about her, but yeah, it's tough. And our crowd has been amazing and very welcoming and very supportive of what's been going on.
And you head to Floor, which is a great event for you guys. How do you close it strong?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we want to close it as well as we can. We want to knock it out of the park at home here on the last event. Feeling really good about where we're at right now.
Thanks so much for the time.
Thanks.
Bart.
Thank you, Taylor and KJ. Women's college gymnastics is brought to you by Tempur-Pedic, helping you get the deep, undisturbed rest you deserve. We'll be back for the fourth and final rotation.
You know I'm loving it.
Crowd wants a 10. Of course they do.
This got me feeling brand new. Beautifully done. Got me feeling brand new.
That is a work of art.
Feeling brand new. You got me
It never gets old.
SEC gymnastics action returns next Friday with Missouri, Florida at 6 Eastern, followed by Alabama, Arkansas at 7:30. And on March 2nd, it's Kentucky visiting Georgia. Here is the score after 3 of 4 rotations. The Sooners with a 0.3 of a point lead against the visiting number 5 Florida Gators. O'Connor and Bridget Sloan. And Bridget, there's several storylines going on here. We're seeing some outstanding gymnasts, but unfortunately for Florida, there were really a couple of heartbreaking moments.
There were, but at the meet's not over yet. It is still close. Florida is headed to balance beam, an amazing event for them. So with what happened earlier, Florida is able to bounce back. I would love to see them finish this meet as strong as possible.
Let's take a look at the 2 key injuries that have affected this competition.
The first rotation, this is Anya. So starting off uneven bars.
She was able to regroup and complete her routine. And then just a moment ago, Sloan Blakely. Let's go down to Taylor Davis.
Well, Bart, as you both can imagine, it's been a very difficult scene down here with both of these injuries. Any injury is heartbreaking, but these are 2 pillars of this Florida team in Anya Pilgrim and Sloan Blakely. Both remain in the locker room, continuing to be evaluated by this Florida training staff. Obviously, Sloan Blakely did suffer a lower leg injury, and you saw her sister, Sky Blakely, incredibly emotional. She's also back in the locker room with her sister. Head coach Jenny Rowland told me, I told Sky, if anyone is equipped to be there for Sloan and help her through this, it's you. The entire team rallying here as we have one more rotation here in Norman. Difficult scene, but can they bounce back? Jenny Rowland's message, focus inward. We'll be right back. SEC on ESPN.
Connor and Bridget Sloan back here, and the Lloyd Noble Center getting set for the 4th and final rotation of this top 5 matchup. OU has led wire to wire. They started out with a 0.2 of a point lead, have expanded it to 0.3 of a point lead. They will go to 4 exercise in this final rotation. And after some really devastating injuries, it looks like Florida has recovered. They'll be on the beam in this final rotation, but major changes to the lineup because Anya Pilgrim and Sloan Blakely, who were both scheduled to compete, are now not in the lineup due to injuries. Lee Bowie and Riley McCusker will compete.
And Skylar Drazer up on the balance beam right now in this lead-off position. Jenny said she is just so calm on this event. Exactly what you want in your lead-off. Nice control on that full turn. The dismount round-off, 1.5 twist. And a stuck landing. Very nice start for Florida on this 4th rotation.
She had a career high that she matched 6 times last year on beam of a 9.9. Great lead off. There's Sloan Blakely coming back out of the locker room. Great to see her with her back on the sidelines with her teammates, even though she's in a boot. Adrian Burde and Owen Field, assistant coaches, comforting. Audrey Davis for the Sooners now leading them off on floor.
Opening up with a front double twist. Very nice. I love the kick at the end of that pass. If there's ever an error that she may have, she can cover it with that dance.
Choreography for the Sooners is done by their head coach, KJ Kindler. I think it's really great this year because all the routines sort of exude some kind of real emotion, fun or intensity.
I think that's what makes floor exercise so fun, is that you get to bring out your personality, whatever you want it to be. If you want to have a serious routine, I'm sure KJ will work with these athletes and make sure that they get what they want to give them the best performance that they can give. Audrey likes to have fun, energetic floor routines. This year is no exception. Very nice start, and what a day for Audrey Davis.
Her scores so far today, 9-8, 9-8-5, and 9-9. Her high score being on the bars.
And that first pass, you saw that kick at the end. I just love the control that she shows and finishes with a 1.5 to front full. Nice start for Oklahoma, and again, just a great all-around performance for Audrey Davis today.
She's really on brand with the Oklahoma style in terms of beautiful line and extension and form throughout. That's kind of an Oklahoma standard, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Victoria Wynn now on beam. Speaking of beautiful presentation, she's coming after Skylar Drazer had a 9.825.
Has Minoti right here, back handspring with a half twist. Into her back handspring, very well done. Sometimes she dips that left shoulder just a little bit, kind of breaking that connection. There's been some question throughout season of whether she got it, but that looked connected to me.
You mentioned the word onodi. It's a rare skill you see in college gymnastics because it is so difficult. It was invented by Henrietta Onodi, a former Hungarian Olympic gold medalist.
just the dismount. It's a back handspring into a 1.5 twist. And sticks it. Very nicely done for Victoria.
Put on the Taylor Davis.
Barda spoke with Lily Peterson this week. She told me she's been a lifelong Sooners gymnastics fan. It was a goal of hers to be a part of this program, and she said that her goal was to compete on 1 or 2 events in her freshman season, and obviously has been lighting it up as an all-arounder. And last week, ahead of the LSU meet, she was actually unable to train, was dealing with a groin injury and a little bit of sickness. She said, the staff's trust in me to allow me to compete, even with minimal training, has added to how I'm trusting myself.
1.5 into a 2.5. Gorgeous job. A lot of twisting going on in that first pass.
Taylor, you mentioned she's a lifelong Sooner fan. She was coached by KJ Kindler's sister, Lori, so I don't think she had a choice when she was going to go to school.
Oh, Bart, you always have a choice, but...
Not when families
She might have been persuaded a little bit. You never know, but she is doing a fabulous job. Huge front double twist. One thing Lily does not stray away from is the difficulty in her floor routine.
Audrey Davis led the Sooners off with a 9.925. That's a career high for her.
What a performance. Last week, she might not have been feeling 100%, but man, tonight she brings it. First pass here. It's a 1.5 step out, round off back handspring, 2.5 twist. Just so well done, and then ends with a front double twist. Bart, fun fact, both of those passes were my first pass at one time in my college career, so.
Can you still do them?
No, I cannot.
Bridget, of course, Olympic medalist and many-time All-American. How many 10s did you score in your career, Bridget, at Florida?
I think 7, maybe 8.
You think? You had so many you didn't ever keep count?
Bart, I just have bad memory.
Leanne Wong will be next up after the Victoria win at a 9.875. Leanne Wong doing the all-around today. Every score is 9.9 or better. Which is just another day for Leanne Wong. It's just amazing how she not only competed for the U.S. World Team and alternate for the Olympic team, she goes right into college gymnastics and excels there too. And they're quite different, aren't they?
They're extremely different. They're really, I mean, in my opinion, they're night and day. When you are competing in elite gymnastics, you really don't compete that often. You compete a handful of times, and they're very serious competitions, where in college, you're competing every single weekend. It's a little lighter out there, but Leanne puts a lot of pressure on herself to always do well. I think this year, we've kind of seen a new version of Leanne when she competes. You see the smile come out, and you see the fun. Series handspring layout step out right over the top.
She herself has scored perfect 10s on all 4 apparatus. That's known as the Gym Slam in gymnastics. Lingo.
Dismount. Just a hop on the landing. That's a new dismount for Leanne this year. It's a gainer full off the end. Really, really nice job for Leanne in this Florida beam lineup.
So 3 hit routines on beam for Florida. And over on floor, Oklahoma, the second straight 9.925. That one was for Lily Peterson. Here is Elle Miller, and I think you're all going to enjoy this routine. This is really unique.
The artistry and the dance and the music, it just all goes together so well. First pass, front tuck, step out, double tuck. Beautiful. Gorgeous front layout to front 1.5 twist. Perfect control. Such a beautiful floor routine and such great tumbling. Elle has really gained confidence throughout season on this event.
Enormously confident for a freshman in the Music Suicide Squad. Really unique to her.
Does a great job on her landings. And this combo front layout to front 1.5, you saw right to her lunge. No movement in her feet. Very well done.
We get some notes from the coaching staff, including Ashley Kerr, one of your friends when you were down at University of Florida, Tom Haley as well. Selena Harris Miranda on beam. Leanne Wong had a 9.875. So Florida trailing the Sooners coming into this fourth and final rotation by 0.3 of a point.
Big acro series, handspring layout, step out into back handspring, very well done. Triple series there. Selena really focusing in. Doing a very nice job. Fought for that landing. That was a front toss. You saw those hips turn just a little bit. Ended up having a balance break there.
Impressive she kept her combination. 8,000 people going crazy. They were hoping that Elle Miller might have earned a perfect 10. She got a 9.95 from the judges for her floor routine. 3 career highs for Oklahoma on floor. Oh, what a floaty dismount.
And a gorgeous finish. Really the biggest mistake in that beam routine was just on that front toss. You saw the shift just a little bit. We're gonna take another look right here, but saw that arm swing and ends up lifting her foot up. Couple tenths of deduction right there, but big hug from Jenny.
Let's go down to Taylor.
for something bigger than gymnastics. This week actually marked the 6-year anniversary of the passing of Dave Richardson, the late husband of longtime athletic trainer Jen Richardson. Dave passed from colon cancer 6 years ago. He was affectionately known as their Norman dad, very involved here with the team, and they keep him close to their heart. They all compete with blue ribbons in their hair in honor of colon cancer, some with the blue ribbon tattoo on the back of their neck. And when I asked head coach KJ Kindler what lessons will continue to be pillars of this program because of Dave's impact, and she said all of our athletes will be reminded how love and how tough they can be like Dave was.
Thank you, Taylor. He was a great man. Here is Addison Feda.
Very nice first pass. That was a front double twist into a stag jump.
Score for Elle Miller was a 9.95. Remember, in dual meet competition, there are 2 judges. They average their scores. One judge put up a 10 and the other a 9.9. They average out to a 9.95.
Front tuck into her 2.5. Wow. Back-to-back freshman routines just showing out. Addison Feda. That was huge. And his first pass, front double twist into her stag jump. But this pass here, it's a front tuck step out, no back handspring needed. 2.5 twist, that was stunning. The whole routine was gorgeous.
4th straight solid hit routine for the Sooners. Tom Haley giving some notes to Addison Feda. To say I've been quite impressed by Florida's composure after having those 2 really unfortunate incidences. This is Lee Boyd. She is now in her debut performance on beam for Florida as a result of the lineup. Lineup changes to the injuries of Pilgrim and Sloan Blakely.
And Bart, it's challenging when the lineups get changed on any event, but balance beam is just such a mentally tough event. And when the lineups change, it can throw you off a little bit. Unfortunately, Lee taking that mistake, ending it with a fall. Right now, just trying to finish this routine as strong and confidently as she can. Unfortunately, that fall, that is a 5-temp deduction. But the dismount, just a hop on the landing, not the routine she wanted, but again, these are moments where, especially when you're just coming into the lineup, it's important to realize when mistakes happen, you just gotta bounce back as quick as you can, but seemed to be more of a dance element, and she just rushed it a little too much, resulting in that fall, which again, that is a 5-temp deduction.
Sooners pouring it on floor. Addison Feda score a career high 9.925. This brings up Jordan Bowers, a completely different look choreographically and gymnastically than others we've seen tonight.
the big first pass here. Right handspring double twist into her punch front. Beautiful job. I talked to Jordan earlier this season and she said, this is my favorite floor routine so far. Just does it so well. She's very intense when she competes and she loves it.
Take a bow, Jordan Bowers.
Beautifully done. The choreography, the expression. I mean, you can't not watch that floor routine. It is so engaging.
The music, of course, Moonlight Sonata.
Just does a fabulous job, not only with the choreography, but her tumbling finishes this routine. Double pike, little shift backwards on that landing, but recovers very well.
Final competitor for Florida on the beam will be Riley McCusker. The score came in for Lee Bui, 9.25. Here is McCusker.
Riley starting things off. That was a wolf turn, a double wolf turn.
This is her first appearance on beam in the lineup since 2023 NCAA team finals.
Acro series.
Oh no.
Really just couldn't save that. You saw the momentum going after those feet hit on the series. Just could not save that. Again, that's a no questions asked 5-10 deduction, called a neutral deduction.
It's fair to say the whole team has been rattled by the injuries they saw to their teammates earlier. And of course, lineup changes are not always easy to deal with, are they, when you're especially not planning on competing?
No, and that's why some people say that when you're on the reserve or you are an alternate, you almost have a more important job because you never know if you're going to have to step up and step into the lineup. Nice finish for Riley. Unfortunate with that fall, and the rest of the routine was nearly perfect.
After 4 hit routines for Florida, then 2 mistakes. So that means that Florida will have to count a low score in that rotation. Obviously, they will not be able to challenge the Sooners here in the 4th and final rotation. Jordan Bowers gets a 9.975. The average of a 10.0 from one judge and a 9.95 from the other. Faith Torres. Is there still a 10 available tonight? Scores have been all over the place, but Faith has the routine that can score it.
I think she can do it. She has got big tumbling here. She's going to open. This is a double layout, one of the best in NCAA.
Yes.
Great extension on those leaps.
Such height.
Front tuck step out into her double tuck.
Oh. Oklahoma has not had a 10 yet this year, and they've not broken that 198 barrier, which is a 9.9 average among all the athletes. That's about what it takes to win a championship. Do they have enough this year?
Wow.
Probably.
That was incredible. Just amazing job. One thing Faith does so well is she does the big tumbling, but Bart, you said it, even her leaps. She is explosive. Coming after Jordan Bowers, 9.975. But this first pass, double layout.
The second flip is actually higher than the first.
I don't know how she does it, but man, does she do it well, and finishes final pass. Front tuck, step out, round off back handspring, double tuck. Awesome job.
Great combination of artistry and explosiveness. Remember, Jordan Bowers just before her at a 9.975. Scoring has been all over the place tonight, but one thing is for sure, the Sooners are going to win this one, regardless of the score that Faith Torres gets. Florida having to count one mistake on beam and already trailing come into this rotation. And it's a 10. Oh my goodness.
The first one of the season for Oklahoma.
And well deserved.
Second career 10-0 for Faith Torres. Both of her 10s being on floor. Wow.
The Sooners will celebrate. They'll break 198 for the first time this year in front of a home crowd. The top 5 matchup. We'll be back in a minute to wrap this one up from Norman. A night of highs and lows for both of these teams. Welcome back to Norman, Oklahoma. The Sooners celebrating the second best score in the NCAA this year. That 198.075 means that they join LSU and Florida as the only teams to score 198 or better this year. Really unfortunate night for Florida with the injuries and a couple of falls. Not what we had hoped for in this number 1 versus number 5 matchup. Bridget, your thoughts on tonight's meet?
Not the meet that Florida wanted, and really unfortunate to have 2 of their athletes go down. But one thing that they did really well is they still fought. They didn't give up. They had the mistakes, but this is a huge learning opportunity for the athletes that got in the lineup last minute. You just never know.
Faith Torres had a huge night. She's the winner of the all-around, and of course it was capped with that perfect 10 on the floor. Let's highlight her performances tonight, Bridget.
Starting on vault, huge, just an outstanding athlete. Faith is just so calm on every apparatus, but she flies. One thing KJ Kindler loves about her is just her demeanor. She strives for perfection, and she's always got a smile on her face.
The crowd had been hoping for a 10 all night long, and they finally got it in the 24th and final routine for the OU Sooners. Career high for Faith Torres, and she is with our Taylor Davis.
Bart, I don't think they were just waiting for it all night. They've been waiting for it all season, and they finally got that 10. Faith Torres, an incredible night for you, capped off with a long-awaited 10 here on floor. But ahead of you, 4 career highs from your teammates and a season high. How did this floor lineup put together such an incredible rotation?
Yeah, we're just focusing on doing our best gymnastics because we see each other every day do awesome gymnastics. So right before we go out there, I do a little team talk with everybody, and I just told them to go out there and shake some. Like, do their best gymnastics because they're all so amazing.
We say that ahead of a broadcast as well. All right, first 10 for you guys so far this season. First 198, and it came on the heels of your first loss of the season, which is not something this program is typically going through. What was the mentality in the gym this week that you guys brought into this meet?
Yeah, focusing on the little things, you know. We went to LSU. It wasn't our best meet. We know that. We know we could do so much better, and just focusing on landings. Landings add up. And so we really focused on the little details, and that's what helped us.
Well, you put it on full display. Congratulations on the all-around. Go celebrate with your teammates.
Thank you so much.
Bart.
Thank you, Taylor, and Faith, congratulations to you. A few final notes from KJ Kindler highs and lows tonight, but the Sooners break that 198 with a 198.075. And there's more gymnastics coming up on the ESPN platform of networks. So unfortunately for the Florida Gators, not what they had hoped. A couple of injuries and some missed performances, but hopefully they'll regroup and continue. They're one of the best programs over the last 15 years in NCAA gymnastics. Three-time national champion going against the six-time national champions Oklahoma Sooner. So coming up next is SportsCenter with Christina Alexander and Phil Murphy. For Bridget Sloan and Taylor Davis and our entire crew, I'm Bart Connor. So long from Norman, Oklahoma.